rotate your phone, you can turn.
I don't see anything. It's light now.
Yeah.
I see you this way.
We need to rotate it.
I'm still seeing it that way.
It should change in a second.
Okay.
Is it different now?
1 second. Yeah.
That's better.
So we're just getting set up here. We'll start in a few seconds.
And a first hello to everyone who's watching the Facebook Live. It's a premiere for us, and we're quite excited. And we can see that our friend Janine, who's behind the camera, is already writing a comment, and it works. Should we start? Yes.
Okay, let's kick off.
Hello and welcome to the Holding Space first Facebook Live. My name is Shirley and I'm here today together with Daniela and my other colleague Janine, who's just going to pop in and say hello quickly. Yeah, Janine's going to be sitting the other side of the camera and helping us out today with noting all your comments or questions and making sure that we get them. So without further ado, let's get into the topic for today. We're going to start by talking a little bit about what is the Holding Space as a community, and then jump into why we care about Holding Space and the event that we've got coming up in a couple of weeks' time here in Vienna. So, to get started.
Yeah, Shirley, would you like to tell me a little bit about yourself and why do you care about holding space?
Yeah, so a little bit about me first. I've been working in human resources and training and development for most of my career in manufacturing companies around the world. And then the last 5 years have been more about taking all that wonderful experience that I was so lucky to have and going into more the coaching field. I'm also very interested in mentoring and do quite a bit of that. And then got qualified as a coach and mentor supervisor. So that's another big arm of my what I do really. And so the other question was, what is the Holding Space as a community? And it was really started out from a place of knowing myself or experiencing myself that I was looking for other people who wanted to develop their capacity to do their job well. If they coached or mentored or facilitated different things, could be as a professional, doing that as a professional, or it could be there's lots of managers or other people out there, teachers and so on, who do that as part of performing their role, and where we could come together and learn from each other in a very experiential way. I wasn't really looking for a community where I sat in front of somebody talking and I listened. I really wanted to learn from doing and from the interaction, because that's where we learn, isn't it, with being with other people. And so I thought, am I the only one that thinks like this, or is having these kind of thoughts? And then I happened to meet Janine and we had a conversation, and then I knew Danny from a while back, and we had a conversation, and before we knew it, we thought, yeah, let's see how we can get something off the ground. So that's really the scope and context of the Holding Space as a community, a place for people to come together and learn from each other.
And tell me a little bit more about what holding space means in your work?
Yeah, that's quite interesting because not everyone I speak to gets the or uses the words holding space. Some people talk about containing the space, which is probably the same thing. Different professions or people with different backgrounds come at the same sort of thing with different labels or different language. But what we know when we're working or doing our work, that the quality of our ability to hold the space definitely impacts the outcome for our clients or the people we're working with. And when I say the quality of holding the space, I mean that the way that we are, so how much we're able to hold the space with our attention balanced somehow, or not being concerned with our own stuff and what's going on for us. Because if we're concerned with our own stuff, then the other people that we're working with probably pick that up and then start to get more concerned about their stuff. So that doesn't really create a safe place for the work to be done. So the quality of it for me, and why I care about it so much, is about being able to have the capacity in myself to be wholly present for the person or people I'm working with in that moment.
Thank you so much, Shirley. Now let's switch to Daniela. Daniela, would you like to tell me a little bit about yourself and why do you care about holding space?
Hi everyone, it's super exciting to be here on this live call. My name is Daniela. I'm a body-based coach and body worker. My background is in translation, communication, and language teaching. So for me, my work life has always been about establishing good relations and communication between people. But I've moved from the sphere of the language, like the apparent first thing you notice and where lots of, I think, conflict happen, going more a holistic way, looking at what's the intention I bring into a situation. How much attention do I have in a conversation for someone else, for my stuff? And I think what Shirley said before, that's like one of the things that's really important in my work, looking at, am I busy with myself? Is my energy, like my attention, caught with myself, so I don't have it to bring to the situation, like to the space I'm holding? I think I'm like moving into the second question I got. Why do I care about holding space? And so I think for me, holding space means I hold space for myself, and at the same time this allows me to feel connected to the space around and the people. And I deeply care about holding space because I think we need more connection. I think our world is very technological. Lots of people feel lonely in lots of training, coaching, learning situations. It's a lot of top-down input, and I don't see so much free space to explore and actually to integrate the knowledge that is presented and make it my own, and actually make it useful for myself and the people I coach or train. So I very much care about education. I don't know if it's adult education, professional training, but in a way to be kinder with myself and with others, so more new things can happen.
And we're running an event on the 2nd of February that's called Expanding Presence. So how do the two relate, presence and holding space?
How are presence and holding space related? I'll start with presence. I think it's after years of exploring how do I explain my work, I think basically it's about being present. And I have a very specific definition or two ways how I look at presence. And I think it's the basis for being able to hold this space. For me, being present means I'm aligned on a mental, emotional, and physical level. So all of me moves in one direction, how I think, how I feel, and how my body wants to move. Everything is sending the same message into the space. And I think this is usually the basis for good communication. And once I'm aligned and I'm aware of how I feel inside, I can be connected to what's going on outside. And I think as a coach, mentor, facilitator, this is the magical moment where you can really feel the group and you go with the flow and new learning can happen.
Mm. And in your work, you may have experienced a lot of incongruence between the body and the mind, and how that impacts the holding space.
I'm going back to what Shirley said before. How does this incongruent, or where are those imbalances in this kind of alignment? How does it affect holding space? I think once either we're not satisfied with the results we're getting, because you say, but I told them everything I knew and they didn't get it. So like part of me is kind of like pushy and trying to impose and really like having this goodwill, and then there's another part I'm ignoring, and so maybe I'm contracting my diaphragm too much, and I'm not and I don't agree that it's kind of an open situation where some things might make me angry, or I'm nervous, or I'm insecure, and embracing the emotion that comes with this state actually provides energy to be more present and have more space for new things to emerge.
What can people expect on the 2nd of February?
The people who want to come to the workshop, they can expect lots of little exercises. I'll show more detailed what my approach to presence is and how it affects how we can hold space. And there will be exercises that I teach that you can do by yourself to strengthen your presence. There will be pair work, and there will be group experiences. So it's all small steps, like little inputs, and then lots of experiential work, so you can find a way how you want to use those tools in your work.
The other thing people get, of course, is when they come along, they meet people who are also interested in this topic, and we start to get our community off the ground with this first event. So that's why it's really exciting for us.
Thank you so much.
And can I add something?
Yes,
I was just thinking why I care so much about holding space, because there's coaches and facilitators, they learn lots of techniques. It's the visible stuff. It's like you work reflection. It's about writing. And then there are those things we don't see, but they happen. Like our nervous systems are always communicating with each other. And if we're not aware of how the energy of a person affects us and how we're pulling back or not speaking up, this is where the quality of the training can really improve tremendously. So for me, it's very much about addressing very human experiences that aren't visible unless you start paying attention to your own body and become more aware of them.
That sounds like it applies to many people. So the training that is going to be held on the 2nd of February, it's not only for coaches, is it?
No, absolutely. It applies or would be relevant to a whole bunch of situations. Sure, if you're coaching or mentoring or facilitating, it's really directly relevant. But if you're doing those kind of activities in any kind of context, I think it applies. So it can be for people who are doing those sort of things as their profession, so to speak. But many people apply those skills or techniques in performing their job in other contexts, and that goes from here to here. It's really a massive range. So it could be for teachers, for therapists, for other people who, I just can't think of. There's so many. There would be.
It could be for managers who have a team lead to actually coach their team in like a part of their work.
Great. Just wanted to give you the opportunity to contribute one last thing before we will close this session. If there are any questions from the audience, and perhaps you would like to add a last thing to the live session, and then
that'll be us for today.
Yes.
So I just want to share how excited I am that we've actually managing to make this happen. There's been so much heart put into getting this off the ground. We've been talking about making or bringing the holding space to life, I don't know, since last summer, and put in many hours to figure out how could we shape this initially so that it can grow. And our idea is that it grows with the input and together with the people who choose to step into the holding space with us. So I'm really looking forward that people come who care about this and want to also contribute to shaping the community as time goes on.
I'm also really excited about the project in general and the upcoming event in February. I think a good part of last year we spent on planning this. I think what we're doing is very complementary to many things that are already out there, but it's addressing the invisible. And there's so much magic in this kind of being present and feeling connected to the people around you. And I think, as in, like, one of my wishes to have like a more global impact is in how we are as humans with other people. And I think with this project I see that professional development, learning how we meet other people in communities can really be improved. So this is where my heart is invested in this project. And thanks for taking so much time to listening to us talk about this, and we would be happy to hear from you, to see you, meet you, hear your interest in the subject or your takes on it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Look forward to seeing you soon.
Yes, thanks, and have a good day with lots of presence in it.
We'll just switch off now. Where do I do that?